And by this, we're going to take a look at y equals x over 3 or y equals x divided by 3. And I want you to note that this is the exact same thing as y equals x, 1/3 x, which means 1/3 times x, because multiplying by a third is the exact same thing as dividing by 3. So like before, what we're going to do is create a table of values with columns labeled x and y. And this time, instead of using the values we used before, we're going to use multiples of 3. If you have a dividing by a particular number, or the denominator is 3 here, that's the multiples we want to use. So for example, if we had a 4 as the denominator, then we would want to use 0, 4, 8, etc., so that we end up with no fraction in our output or in our y solution. And so what we're going to do now is just like we did before, and here y, or our output, is equal to our input divided by 3. And so once again, we sub into the equation, and if our input is -6, well, our output is equal to our input divided by 3, so -6 divided by 3, which is -2. So we put that into our table of values and go on to our next input, which is -3, and we sub in, and if our input is -3, our input divided by 3 is equal to -1. And it should start to become clear as to why we want to use multiples of 3. If we didn't use multiples of 3, we would end up with fractions. And we want to try to avoid those when we're trying to graph. Next, we've got y equals 0 divided by 3. And anytime you divide by 0, divide 0 by a number other than 0, the answer is 0. Next, if our input is 3 divided by 3 is 1, so our output here is 1. And for our last example, our output is equal to 6 divided by 3, which is 2.